CTV News at 5 with Hudson Mack.
A Toronto woman who abducted her own baby and raised her in Victoria under an assumed name has been sentenced. She'll come back to Vancouver Island to serve 4 months house arrest. Patricia O'Byrne has also been given a 2-year conditional sentence. O'Byrne pleaded guilty in February to abducting her infant daughter from Toronto 20 years ago. She had custody of the child, but it was supposed to be shared with the girl's father. The Crown was seeking a prison term. The police officer who found the pair was in court for sentencing today.
I can't comment if I'm happy with the sentence or not, but it's what the victims would have wanted in this case.
Do you think you would like to have seen jail for a deterrent for other people?
In some regards, I say yes, but I understand where the judge is coming from in this, because there's lots of factors she has to look at, not just the general deterrence to the public, as she stated. There are so many other factors in giving a judgment, and she covered them all.
The child's father says he never gave up hope trying to track his daughter down for years. He asked the court to spare the girl's mother any jail time. The child's identity is protected by court order. O'Byrne was arrested in Victoria following an anonymous tip. Now to the Fraser Valley, where an international manhunt has been underway all day after a shootout between two people and U.S. border security agents. The gunfire happened this morning. The manhunt is still on tonight. CTV's Louise Hartland is following the story and joins us now live with the latest. Louise.
Hudson, Abbotsford police say the U.S. Border Patrol called around 9 this morning after gunfire broke out on the American side. It happened just a few kilometers from the Sumas border crossing. U.S. agents say they spotted 2 men wearing camouflage and backpacks. At least one of them had a gun. It's not clear who fired first. Shots were exchanged, but no one was wounded. One suspect is in custody, but the second got away, and police believe the man may be in Canada. The RCMP helicopter was scouring the area from above, and roadblocks were set up along the border, but were taken down this afternoon.
We've had canine units in the field attempting to pick up tracks. We've had officers searching. We've also set up static deployments, road closures, checkpoints. Again, doing everything that we can in a precautionary role to make sure that we can safeguard people against any potential threat that this fugitive could pose.
The search is now concentrated on the Sumas Hills. The Abbotsford Emergency Response Team and RCMP ERT are going door-to-door searching for the suspect. A nearby elementary school was on lockdown earlier today as a precaution. Again, police say they don't know the suspect is on this side of the border for sure, but officers say they're not taking any chances. Hudson?
All right, we'll stay on the story, Louise. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, 2 drunks in Victoria proved that stealing a canoe may be tougher than it looks. The Coast Guard and Vic PD responded over the weekend when a canoe capsized, plunging the 2 men into the water. They were able to make it out onto dry land on their own. They tried to run away but didn't get far. Police caught up with them near the Empress Hotel. They admitted that they had stolen and tried to get away with the canoe. They retrieved it and they have agreed to return it. Developing health story tonight from Central and Eastern Canada. 1,200 cancer patients are learning that they were given watered-down chemotherapy treatments. Hospitals affected are encouraging patients to contact their oncologists. 2 medications involved were purchased by those hospitals from a supplier that produces and labels the medications. 4 of the hospitals are in Ontario. The 5th is in New Brunswick. Cancer Care Ontario and the hospitals working with the supplier are trying to find out how the mistake happened. The Vancouver Island Health Authority says if you had treatments here, you should not worry. Cancer patients on the island are not affected. VIHA says it does not use an external service to compound these chemo drugs. VIHA makes them here for each patient. Well, you'll soon be able to rock and roll all night in Victoria with one of the world's greatest classic rock groups. Kiss has announced an impressive Canadian tour that stops in Victoria this summer. The 19-date tour is scheduled to start July 5th at the Save on Foods Memorial Centre. It's Kiss's most extensive Canadian tour to date and is in celebration of its 40th year together. Tickets go on sale Friday morning at 10 o'clock. Seat prices for Kiss start at $66. The first hint of spring has helped Greater Victoria's real estate market to blossom, but it's not in full bloom just yet. The March numbers are out and they do show some recovery. The Victoria Real Estate Board says sales for March are up 23% over February, which is seasonal. The board president says that is good, but not entirely unexpected because spring is traditionally when the market picks up. But this is significant. The March sales were the highest since July of last year, when the federal government made changes to mortgage rules in this country. You may notice more people donning yellow today wearing daffodils, supporting the Canadian Cancer Society. The Society is celebrating its 75th anniversary this year, and April, of course, is Daffodil Month. The proceeds from the sale of each daffodil pin go to the Cancer Society and its work. And BC Transit is on board the campaign for the month of April. Buses in the Greater Victoria Regional Fleet will be displaying signs in their windows, and all drivers will be wearing pins to demonstrate their support.
We're hoping to have people join us in the fight, because to us the daffodil is not just a flower, it is a symbol of hope for all people that are in a cancer journey at the moment. So we want them to know that they're not alone, that we're here with them.
You'll see both our drivers are wearing the lapel pins today, and that there are window clings in our buses. We thought it was a small contribution to help with the Canadian Cancer Society on this important year. Cancer's touched my life. I don't know many Canadians that aren't impacted by it, and I also know a lot of Canadians are living a lot longer thanks to the research that's funded. So BC Transit was honoured to be partnering with the Cancer Society.
About 300 buses in Victoria's fleet will be taking part in the campaign. To find out more about Daffodil Month, visit fightback.ca. Vancouver Island-based salmon farmers say they have learned valuable lessons from a virus outbreak that shut down several fish farms last year. The IHN virus infected 3 fish farms between May and July. The virus occurs naturally in wild Pacific salmon, but it can be harmful to farmed Atlantic salmon. The BC Salmon Farmers Association says it has reviewed the outbreaks and the response, and as a result will change some of its policies. Prevention measures will increase, and the viral management plan has been updated to include such things as standards for transportation of farm materials and communications in such an incident. IHN has no impact on human health. The chief of the Nanaimo First Nation says he will meet tomorrow with a representative from Glacier Media, the owner of the Nanaimo Daily News, to talk about the letter to the editor that was an insult and was considered demeaning to First Nations people. It was printed last week and sparked outrage across the country and inside and outside Nanaimo as well. Protesters of all backgrounds rallied outside the Daily News offices demanding someone be held accountable. The paper issued an apology, but First Nations say that's not enough. They rallied, as you see here, on Thursday. Tomorrow, Vancouver Island University hosts a closed-door meeting with the Nanaimo First Nation, the City of Nanaimo, and Glacier Media to try to facilitate a discussion and find a plan to move forward.